Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube here to give my review of Starfield. Video games are supposed to be fun. Is Starfield fun? Yes, it is fun to play, don't get me wrong. But let me get to the complaints I have first before I praise the fucking thing, because there are complaints I do legitimately goddamn have. Imagine playing a game where you're given chaperones. And these chaperones are not only fucking useless to a point, but you absolutely have no reason for fucking needing them. That's Starfield. You start out, you do get, now you don't start off with the robot, but you do get the robot after completing your first real expedition that is basically your fucking tutorial. Um, it's like a after said robot, you get a woman, and then after said woman, you get a ranger cowboy. Both fire about the same capacity, both have good combat skills. The only big difference is you can use the robot as a human fucking shield. Um, True story. The, these characters, especially the ranger, are so attached to your goddamn ass. It feels like you're going from first base to second base to third base straight to home base. Okay, they're not foreplaying with you. Yes, their hand is quite literally on your character's ass cheek, and no, they're not asking. They're not asking for permission to touch your ass. Okay, um, which is just creepy. No, I mean, not that my wife asked permission, but still, that's my wife. She doesn't have to. Now, with Starfield, my other big complaint and compliment at the same time is the money. And let me preference this by saying the missions that you go on in Starfield, are they boring? It's not that they're boring, but from a story context, you know how much I care about the actual story of the mission, each mission? You know how much I care about it? I fucking know. I give zero, zero fucks. The only thing, and I mean the only thing I care about, and what I want to type that I care about, and to quote the $1 Million Man, everybody's got his price, is the credits your character gets goddamn paid. Because that's the only thing to care about. The problem with said credits is not the fact that you don't get enough of them. You do to a fair degree. It's that, hey, it's the future, and the future economy's future is so geographically fucked. It's not even funny. I mean, look, I buy two or three things in Starfield, and I'm back to being broke. Um, so yeah, things are expensive in Starfield. In game, like the things you purchase, they're expensive as shit. What's the most fun thing to do? Now, this is an outer space game, so is exploring planets fun? Exploring planets is fun, but it is a long and tedious process, my friends. I'm not saying you won't run into shit, you will. But again, if you go onto a planet looking to explore the entire fucking thing, you're going to be there for a while. So buckle up, cowboys and cowgirls. It's space cowboys and cowboys. You're going to be on that planet for a while. If you want to literally tour the entire goddamn planet, yes, you can for the most part, and it will feel like the rest of your goddamn life. Now, what's the fun thing to do? Most fun thing to do for me, being in outer space, being in your spaceship and getting to do all the fun things you do. Now, I talked about tutorial, and I'll get back to that here in a minute. But I love the hyper jump. I love the space fights. So far, though, if I had to make a one more legitimate complaint about this game so far, it's that there's not enough outer space dogfights in this game, and I've only run into a couple so far. I wish they would fix that and put more in. That's the one of the most fun things to do in the game. The other, you can actually pirate ships. You can actually fucking board ships and kick people's fucking ass. You can literally take their ships by fucking storm, and I love it. Um, I feel that's one of the best features in the goddamn game, if not the best, in my opinion. And I know some people are going to say I'm being biased because you're literally committing highway robbery in the middle of space. So fucking what? It's the middle of goddamn space. Who's going to give a shit? This is the equivalent of what pirates did in the ocean back in the heyday. The only difference here is you're in space, so no one really gives a shit what you do unless you're doing it to the person they're doing it to. They give a shit. They're trying to kill your ass and kill your ass. They will definitely try to do, and sometimes they succeed. Um, I love how you can dock a ship to another ship. Really cool. Um, what else? Oh, I talked about the tutorial. That's the thing with the explained tutorial by the robot that explains it to you. There's no there's nothing hard about the tutorial. You don't need it explained. You could pretty much figure it out for yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not necessarily bitching that you get it explained to you. I just feel there's nothing hard about the tutorial that you can't figure it out for your fucking self. Hyper jump, especially. Also, how to operate your ship. Now, if you really wanted to explain something to me, and Bethesda, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I'm not picking on you. So, I wanted to test a little theory in game. I had a little theory, okay? So, and before I did this, I saved my game. I wanted to go on a killing spree in town. You see, because with me are my chaperones, right? So you figure if I go on a just a rampage Michael Myers killing spree, and yes, I did pull out a knife for this festivity, because low and slow is the middle of my game, as the name of my game. Sorry, I really wanted to see how much they were, how much my chaperones were their own character. And by this, I mean, if I start murdering innocent civilians who've absolutely done nothing fucking wrong to my character, and hence the word innocent civilians, my chaperone should turn on my ass and open fire, correct? Right? That's what they should do. They should make the conscious decision to do the right thing. So I go on this murder spree, right? I start stabbing innocent civilians with my knife. Even there was one character who came out in her bra and panties and tried to fucking stop me. I asked my wife about this. She witnessed the whole thing. My two chaperones, they didn't stop me. Oh, no, no. When I was being fired upon, They fired back on the civilians. I shit you not. Also, and so I did, as I was continuing my killing spree, I decided to talk to one of these dipshits, the being the ranger, and this is what his quote was to me: "I don't like what you're doing, but I am dedicated to the mission that we are tasked to do." Okay, the mission he's talking about is what you've been given to do by the constellation and shit. Okay, so let me get this straight. You're so loyal to the cause, you don't give a shit who I murder as long as I'm loyal to the constellation. That makes no fucking sense. I'm murdering innocent people. This has to be one of the most lazy character design flaws I've ever fucking seen. I've heard of Charles Lee Ray being your friend to the fucking end, okay? You know how Chucky tells people, "I'll be your friend to the end, hidey-o-leo," and then he tries to kill your hapless ass? Well, these guys make Charles Lee Ray look like your best goddamn friend because, or they actually put Charles Lee Ray to shame, if you will, because these guys, these chaperones, literally are your fucking friend to the end. You can literally, and I do mean this, literally commit cold blooded fucking murder on a planet full of fucking people, in a city full of fucking people, murdering each person individually, and your chaperones will only give you a stern talking to. Game of the year. No, it's really not. Um, Again, these seem like little nitpicks, but again, they're legitimate nitpicks. If you're going to create a character within a game that's not my character, and that character is attached to my character, and that's the thing too. They act at times like your moral compass, like they're your Jiminy Cricket and you're the fucking Pinocchio. But when it comes to doing a severe crime like murder, again, the most they give you to is a stern talking to. It's like, no, you need to be your own guy here and just cap my ass. That's just, again, that's amazing to me. Like, where's your development here? It's like that went by the way. It feels like proper decision making within game went by the wayside in this. That the character I'm with now, and even with the woman, this would have happened. I guarantee you. But with the marshal who I'm with, the former marshal, you would think he'd like, okay, I'm not going to let you murder innocent civilians and shoot me. No, he doesn't do that. He just stands idly by and lets me do it, and just gives me a stern talking to when I talk to him about it. Okay, I can deal with that. No problem. Now I didn't. Now what I didn't do was, because I reloaded the game to where I saved it prior. What I didn't see, and I should have did this, and maybe I'll go back to this, was the effects of my murder spree. What I mean by that is what it did for everybody the fuck else. Like, the law. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Again, maybe I'll go back to this. Let me see. What else? Pro or con? Pro or con? The graphics look good for the most part. Again, if the game looks beautiful. I have no complaints about the um, in gameplay itself. I do. There was no glitching on my game. That's great. If you find a game that doesn't glitch and doesn't really have glitchy issues, that's great. I know some people were playing this game and there were glitches on it. I haven't run into that at all. Um, Again, I just think it depends on your experience too and how you play this game. Um, the game's for the most part fun. Now, time for the score. So my scores are rent or own. Now I do own Starfield, so I'll plead guilty to that. This is a rent game, not an own game, um, and simply for the reasons I mentioned. There's too there's too much. I don't feel, again, your chaperones to a degree are pointless, and the other thing too, the only way they really get are helpful to you is when they're shooting back, and they barely do it. Some of them do melee combat, which I found interesting. To when you're battling an enemy. Um, Also, with the gun system in the Starfield game, I feel ammo is very, again, it's space, so I get it. Ammo is very scarce at times, depending on where you're at. So you do need to stock up, um, because you're gonna run into a lot of shit. um, I'm not saying the knife or the fire axes are useless, but killing something with them is unless you're killing a civilian, it's pretty difficult to kill other things with those items. Um, Again, my favorite thing to do is to dock the spaceship to another spaceship and raid it. Um, that's my favorite thing to do in the entire game. It's not that I don't appreciate the worlds, or I do for the most part, but again, the most fun thing for me to do. I'm sure maybe someone else will find it a lot more fun than what I do, and if you do, that's fine. But to me, that's my score of this game. Rent, don't know. Um, because I feel, even though I feel like even though this game has a lot of fun stuff for you to do, there's things they're doing in this game that are, one, annoying, two, the missions you get put on. Even okay, you're a space ranger. You get to become a space ranger. Okay, that's great. The But the missions you get put on for being said ranger, again, the only thing that drives me to do the missions is the money. I have no vested interest in the actual story. Even the collective story, it's just like, I just want paid. I don't give a shit what you say about it. I just want the money. Um, that for me is an issue when you've developed this long outer space game. I'll tell you what, this, instead of this being, you know, it could have still been called Starfield, but this should have been Pirates in Outer Space. And I mean, you could still play the game that way too. That's what makes it fun. You can raid ships. That's one of the again. That's, to me, that's the best feature in game in my view. I love doing that. That's a lot of fun. But and that's the thing too. It's how you intend to play Starfield. Do you play it goody goody, or do you make the conscious decision to do bad shit? Which, that's something you can do. Again, I talked about where I stabbed a bunch of civilians. That's it doesn't get any worse than that. Um, it's a fun game. I mean, you're not gonna get bored with it. It again, I've heard people say it has glitch issues. I'm not saying they're wrong. I've personally never run into it. That's just me though. But you guys have a good day. Hope you enjoyed my review of Starfield. It's it's fun. Again, my review is it's fun to play, but upon the fun there are character issues. There are in-game issues that just make no no logical sense. And what else? I think that's it. So hope you've I hope you've enjoyed the review of Starfield. You guys have a good day.